Happy Friday. And we're on. We're off to the races. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Wow. Is that we were just saying, is everything awful or is everything awesome? It's kind of awful. And we have a lot of men behaving really, really badly. I was just looking at some of the headlines and George Santos. Remember that guy going to court? The Justice Department wants him to get, I think it's 7 years. It's just crazy. Anyways, happy Friday. Where are you streaming from? Hello, hello, hello. Everything is awful. Awfully, awesomely awful, someone said. Where are you? I'm in New York. Good morning, Pennsylvania. Hi, Linda. Yeah, someone said Tony Busby totally sleaze. What is going on? You guys are in the chat already, just going at it. George with his Botox. My goodness. Hello, you guys were waiting. So many people waiting. My goodness. Yeah. Yep, I love your photo there. Courtney Wade, hello, love it. St. Louis, Amanda Belcher. Hi. Hello. Well, you guys are all in it. So just let me shout some people out this morning. Goodness gracious. Maryland, Black Diamond and Pearls. Akia Fair is in South Carolina. Good morning, Don, looking radiant and ready. Good morning. I missed the name. Back it up, please. Gail Burris, Waycross, Georgia. Good morning. Robin Foose, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning to Mrs. Makamoon. Looking radiant and ready. Thank you very much. Hi, Venetia Marshall. Good morning, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm going to have to go to Baton Rouge. I got to go there and take care of some stuff. So anyways, I'll let you know about that later. We'll talk about that. But good morning, everybody. I'm so glad that you are here. It is Friday, and you guys are really engaged this morning. I'm so glad. So listen, I want to tell you guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Hit the like button, hit that thumbs up. It's really important to us. And you know what's very important is that you subscribe. So make sure that you have hit that subscribe button. It's right there, pardon me, near the Don Lemon Show logo. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's very important to us. And also become a member. And the membership link is at the top of the chat. And then we'll also put a thing up after we're trying to figure out who our Sour Lemon should be. After that, so we'll have you hit the thumbs up. Okay. So welcome in, everybody. Nice stretch. Did you get a good sleep? California gloomy today. Joan Hansen, why is California gloomy? It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Well, it's always sunny in California, supposedly. So no, am I wrong? Sleep. What's sleep? Tell me about it. Fort Lauderdale is here. Tough choice for sour lemons. Yeah, we'll tell you about the sour lemons. Okay, let's get to the show because I think it's really important what's going on. There's a tale of 3 alleged predators. Okay, let's start off this way. And I'll tell you, there's a tale of 3 alleged predators, one in the White House, one in the Pentagon, one in Hollywood, all of them bracing for a world of hurt. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about this morning. We're talking about Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, and Shannon Sharpe. But this is how I would frame it, because I'm a man of a certain age. How did it go? Once upon a time, there were 3 little boys who went into television. 2 in Washington, the other, I don't know, where is Shannon? In California. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy, and then they were all in Los Angeles, and there were 1 in San Francisco, 2 in Los Angeles, and then after Farrah Fawcett left, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I think it was 2 in Los Angeles, the other in San Francisco, whatever it was that happened whenever Farrah Fawcett left. Anyways, so so these guys are not angels, allegedly. And so they are all, as a matter of fact, when we were talking about it, they all started on television, right? At least Donald Trump, people believe that he could be president of the United States because they said he was a great businessman because of this fake celebrity apprentice status that he has, which is not deserved. Okay. And then there was Pete Hegseth, who was a morning show anchor. And then there was Shannon Sharpe, who was obviously a Super Bowl champ, but he is also ESPN. I think he was on Fox Network or whatever sports, and he was a television person. And now they have all been accused of, at the very least, abusing women. And at least for one, the only one that has been found liable in a civil court, the only one who's been found liable is the person who's in the White House. The only one who's actually a convicted criminal is the one who's in the White House. So it's very interesting. So what does that mean for the other two men? What does that mean for them? Because they're in hot water right now, and I'm going to explain to you why. So this is Shannon Sharpe. Let's look at what's happening with Shannon Sharpe right now, because there's new developments as it relates to Shannon Sharpe this morning. This is what's being reported not just on page 6 in the New York Post. Shannon Sharpe accused of, R-wording a second woman, threatening to ruin her in a separate lawsuit. And then we have another Shannon Sharpe that he settled an incident with a female. This is from Front Office Sports. Shannon Sharpe settled a physical incident with a female PA. So now it's a drip, drip, drip. Then we have the NBC Sports article about him being sidelined, that they said he was sidelined before he stepped aside. And so there we have that. And then we have Donald Trump, whose poll numbers are tanking. According to the Reuters poll, this is the lowest I think he's been in forever. His approval rating is 37%. They're all sliding. They're all downfalling. They're all backsliding. And take a look at this. Well, we'll look at the cover. And then we have Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, according to the Wall Street Journal, which is a Rupert Murdoch conservative. Wait a minute. I have way too much headroom. Let me try to do that a little bit. That's fine. That's okay. And then we have Pete Hegseth, right? Threatened polygraph threats, leaks, infighting, the chaos inside Hegseth's Pentagon. Apparently, it has gone off the rails. And everyone is saying, remember I told you, get ready. I wrote about it, the confidence men in my Substack. I said to you guys, get ready. Oh, wait, one second. Sorry, I put on my watch. That it was coming. It is certainly coming. And I know people will be like, oh, it's not going to come. He's going to know it's coming. That, I believe that Fox News interview, that Fox and Friends interview, I believe that sealed the deal. That sealed the deal for one Mr. Pete Hegseth. So we shall see, only a matter of time. And by the way, someone that we don't have in it, he's been very, very quiet. I think Waltz is going to go too pretty soon. Okay. I believe, remember, he's the one that added the reporter to the Signal chat by accident. I think he's out of here. But anyway, he's keeping a low profile. He is smart. He's like, zipping my mouth. I'm shutting up. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening, because the latest we want to talk about is Shannon Sharpe. We covered Shannon Sharpe so much yesterday, and a lot of what he said and what he did on camera is coming back to haunt him. Like this one thing, which is just cringe-inducing, and I think he got his wish. But careful what you wish for. Here it is.
I always talk about date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right there.
Where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
Hold on. Because I keep it on me now.
Yeah.
I keep it on me. You want to date your what?
I want to date my wage. Not my age. I want to date my wage. So where are they? Because y'all always talking about date your age. I want to date my wage. So come on with it.
Well, you talking.
As a matter of fact, I'm taking applicants as we speak.
Well, you talking spicy tonight, boy.
Well, he took an applicant, and an applicant said, hey, hold my beer. Do you want to date your wage? Now, to me, that means, yeah, her wage is $50 million, sir. Courtney Wade said it. Look, I'm not hitting anybody when they're down, but I'm just saying, why did Shannon say that? I mean, careful what you ask for, right? I want to date my wage, not my age, because Monique said you need to date your age. And he said, no, I want to date my wage. And now someone is dating his wages. Someone is making a wager that they are going to get $50 million because he dated his wage. Her age when they met was 19. 19. Now, I've been thinking about this overnight. We heard, as I told you yesterday, you guys know, we heard from his lawyer. We had this exclusive interview yesterday with Lanny Davis, his lawyer. And he gave his side. I understand he gave his side, but we would like to hear from the young lady's side. So hopefully Tony Busby will get back to us. I haven't heard anything. I need to check. I haven't really checked my email. I'm going to check my email, but that's his side of the story. But he said he wanted to date his wage, and Monique said, this is what you need to date your age. Here it is.
Dating thing, Mo, is different now. Than when you and I
it's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
But you tried to say that. What you tried to say? Mo,
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Damn.
When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal should be good to you. These young gals will bite you.
I love talk like that. I love sitting down and talking to people like that. And you guys know that's how we talk. When I go home, that's how we talk. When we pull out the spades table, the card table, that's how we talk. She ain't never lied. Now, there are different interpretations about dating your age and dating your wage. Like, does he want to date someone who's in his wage bracket, or does he want a trophy wife that he deserves as a rich man? Does he feel that someone at his particular status or stature should be able to date younger and have like a trophy wife, which is his age, perhaps, maybe? I don't know exactly what he's saying. By the way, this is supposed to be it. I was wondering if something was off. So what exactly is he saying by that? But, look, you can date whatever you want. I'm not age shaming anyone. And I'm not kink shaming anyone, but boy, certainly look, have you guys gone and looked at I'll get to the other two. We'll get to them in a minute. We talk about them a lot. Have y'all gone and looked at this race play stuff? This race play stuff. Have y'all heard that? Has anybody been doing their have y'all been doing y'all's research? You know what I'm talking about. Have y'all been doing y'all's research on this race play thing? I mean, is it race play? And then remember there was the Broadway play called Slave Play. It may have been a movie. I don't remember. There was a Broadway play. But I mean, if someone's asking race play, yes. Yes, this race play. That was the thing. I want you to put your, I want a big black baby in me, or black. What was it? Baby soup. What was the quote? Y'all got the text messages. Can we find those text messages? Some of them. This is the one that one. Can you make? Yeah. Let me make that. Have y'all been, this is what they call the race play, y'all, where you are playing, not just, this isn't just, talk dirty to me. This is only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. I think she probably meant you want to me. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I need. Yes, Andrea, that's the race play. The race play is, well, we ain't going to read the ones with the tongue where they want that to go. Lord, have mercy. Are y'all reading these? That's my daddy F. I want you to put that big black baby in me. I'm talking about the race play. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When he said, I'm going to slap a little white woman and choke a little white woman. This is some juicy shit, y'all. I just Google race play. I am not approved, but it is nasty. You're right, Miss Passionate. I can't. It's just, wait a minute. Somebody said on the TikTok. It's so weird. But okay, so this was on the text message. Okay, come on now, let's talk. We're all grown, right? Jazz and Laughter, wait, hold on. Jazz and Laughter, what do you know? Jazz and Laughter is saying race play isn't a new thing. Jazz, please educate me. I would like to know. So can we all talk here? Now, if that is, because people usually on the text message, not as explicit as they are in person. So imagine what they were saying. It was the heat of the moment, showed in your eye. You guys know, imagine in the heat of the moment, the kind of shit that was coming out of their mouths. Y'all know, come on now. All right. Let's move on, shall we? Shall we move on? Or do you guys know? I can't. I know. And other places and other things. Exactly. So you're sitting up here talking about, I'm not kink shaming you. I'm just saying, but to me, this whole race play thing is, something that I heard about within the last couple of months. And I think I saw an article or something about it. And I was telling you guys, I pitched it to the Bill Maher folks when I was on there. Because I had seen Bill. I remember, you guys, I told you the story. I'd seen Bill at a Grammy party, and we were talking about dating and dating interracially because, Bill has dated black women, and he's like, I like all kinds of women. I don't mix. And I said, well, interracial dating, there's this thing, if you want to be a little provocative, called race play that I've heard, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden now it has been thrust into the spotlight, into the zeitgeist because of one Mr. Shannon Sharpe. The producers have gotten awfully quiet with the comments. Is there something, are you guys afraid? But anyways, did she say, wait, Andy, can you put the text messages back up there? Okay, y'all. Did she really say baby gravy? I have never. Someone said you can find corn about it. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's the whole thing. It's about corn. But I'm saying corn, but you know what I mean. Rhymes with corn. That's the thing. But did she say baby gravy? Have y'all ever heard baby gravy? That's the whole race play, is the corn thing is what I'm talking about. That's where it's been prevalent. But apparently it's in the corn because people do it in the real life. So it is life imitating corn or art. My mind. Yes, indeed, y'all. So I have heard of the baby batter, but I've never heard of the baby gravy. And apparently it's brown gravy. He wants the Blake back, baby. Oh my God. Okay. It's Friday. We can laugh. I'm going to get off of this because I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be in trouble. Yeah, I've heard of juice. I've heard of batter. I've heard all that. But I've never heard of gravy. I just have not heard. It's not new, Don. Someone says it's not new. Okay, Don, stop it. You guys know you can't let me, you give me an inch and I'm going to take a mile. You guys know that. But I like to tell, we're all adults. And remember, here's the thing that one must remember. Folks are clicking onto this. This is a destination. And it says whether it's for the kids or not for the kids when you log on. This is not for the kids. This is for the adults. This is news. And we are talking about this is what's in the news. Okay? This is what is in the news on the Don Lemon show on the YouTube and others. And all you have to do, you go and you just do a little Google search, but make sure you do it. Maybe you want to do it on the incognito mode. Or maybe you want to erase it real quick after you look it up. Because it is a thing that is out there that folks are talking about. Quiet as is kept. Quiet as kept. That's one of my favorite sayings, you know, when people are gossiping. You know, quiet as kept. That's an old folks saying. They don't say that anymore. Quiet as kept. Love in the City says, move on to the news. All right, Love in the City, I am. I'm going to move on to the news. But first, I want to say that we are happy to have support from our sponsor today, which is Shopify, okay? And so I am so happy to be an entrepreneur. I'm so happy to have started a small business to be able to bring you the stories that you want without being unencumbered here and without corporate influence, because I would have been kicked out of the corporate right now for just being so open and honest. Okay. So anyways, we're so happy to have our sponsor today. Our sponsor today is Shopify. If you're trying to start a new business, it is not easy, but it is also very, very fulfilling. And it can bring out things in you that you never thought could be brought out, a confidence and autonomy, all those things. And there's someone who can help you do that. There's an entity, there is an online site that can help you with a click of a button, and that is Shopify.com. I would urge you to go there now. Just go to Shopify.com/lemon. Even if you just want to get some ideas, okay? So starting a new business can be overwhelming. You need a website, you need a payment system, you need a logo, a way to advertise to new customers. It can all be overwhelming and confusing, but thankfully that is where today's sponsor, Shopify, comes in. Shopify makes it super easy to create your own website, and it's so easy to set up your merch store. Now, when we're getting our merch, and by the way, going to have some examples for us soon, so the merch will be coming. I promise you, we're going to set up our e-commerce store on Shopify once we get it. It is the platform behind millions of businesses around the world, okay? 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. is through Shopify, from household brands like Untuckit and Allbirds, and even just new startup brands. Folks who are just getting started can help you with a website, beautiful templates to help you start your website, everyday tasks that like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. If people haven't heard of your brand, they can help to push you out there, get you a social media campaign, email strategies, all those kinds of things, and 24/7 help. Okay, always around for some advice, 24/7. And here's the tea. Here's the ticket, everybody, if you really, really want to know, okay? It's going to be cheap because the first month it's going to be $1 per month for a trial because of the Don Lemon Show. So turn those dreams into ka-ching and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at Shopify.com/lemon. Go to Shopify.com/lemon. That's Shopify.com/lemon, and turn those dreams into ka-ching. Shopify. Thank you so much, Shopify. We appreciate you being a sponsor. Now let's get back to the news. We have been saying, adult news here, y'all. Ka-ching, Karen White, you are right. adult news here. So that's what we have with Shannon Sharpe. So let's get to page 6, okay? And then we'll move on to the other guys. Here's the deal coming from page 6. Shannon Sharpe is accused of violating a second woman. And that's the headline. Accused of, being R-wording a second woman, threatening to ruin her in a separate lawsuit. Let's keep going. Keep scrolling up so that we can read what's happening here on the thing, just so I can give you some information on this. A second woman claiming to be Shannon Sharpe's ex, previously accused the former NFL star of the R word. Michelle Bundy Evans, who allegedly dated the sports commentator for nearly a decade, filed a lawsuit against Sharpe in late 2023 for defamation, libel, and slander after previously accusing him of SA. Okay. Evans claimed he assaulted her in 2010 after they got into an argument about his alleged infidelity, according to court documents obtained by page 6. Now, you can scroll up, but if you, so alleged infidelity. So that appeared to be one of the things that set off this latest woman, is that the whole incident, what happened with Instagram, where he went live and you could hear, him in a very personal act with a woman, Michelle. Well, apparently allegedly Gabby, through the text messages, didn't like that and thought it was an act of cheating and infidelity, and demanded him in the text messages, if you read them, to apologize. And according to his attorneys, they believe that was the catalyst for the case, that she was jealous. And so this is all revenge, according to them. Okay. So there you go. That is that. And then there is one from Front Office Sports. That's why I said this is a drip, drip, drip. Now remember, innocent until proven guilty. So from Front Office Sports, Fox, Shannon Sharpe settled physical incident, meaning Fox News, because I think he was at Fox Sports. Shannon Sharpe settled physical incident with a female PA. The alleged incident, which has not been previously reported, took place while Sharpe was a co-host of FS1's Undisputed. Okay. Now, this one I had heard drip, drip, drip up, and right after I hung up, so to speak, with the attorney. ESPN contributor Shannon Sharpe announced Thursday that he'd be stepping away from the network, facing $50 million lawsuit. A woman he was in a relationship, while he contends that the suit while he contends with that suit, additional incidents from his past, have come to light. Before Sharpe's time at ESPN, when he was a co-host of FS1's Undisputed, he was accused of choking a female production assistant in the workplace. Two sources with knowledge of the incident tell Front Office Sports. One source said that Sharpe and Fox settled with the accuser for several $100,000. There was no lawsuit filed against Sharpe in the incident. Now, I would imagine this one, if this is true, there's probably an NDA. Scroll up. Which means that's why the person has not come forward, because they probably signed a non-disparagement or non-disclosure agreement, as they are called, to not talk about it or whatever. And then they give them money, and then Fox doesn't talk about it, or Fox Sports again, if this is true. Okay. This is alleged. A rep for Sharpe told FOS, Front Office Sports, there was no incident of choking involving Shannon on the FS1, said on one occasion, he and a fellow colleague were involved in some light physical interaction in a playful context. Fox Sports later chose to resolve the matter privately. For further details, we recommend contacting Fox directly. A Fox Sports spokesman declined to comment prior to the statement from Sharpe's camp and could not immediately be reached for follow-up. Sharpe co-hosted Undisputed from 2016 to 2023. The timing of the incident was unknown. Okay. I do not know, Nana Pants. I cannot answer your question. I do not know. And so yesterday it was announced that Shannon Sharpe announced that he was stepping aside, and that he is basically inferring that it was his decision to do it. According to an NBC Sports article, ESPN sidelined Shannon Sharpe before he stepped aside. And so on Thursday, Hall of Fame tight end and media personality Shannon Sharpe announced that he'll be stepping aside from ESPN until the start of the NFL preseason. As it turns out, ESPN was ready to push him to the sideline if he hadn't voluntarily walked away. I don't know if this is true. Again, this is all alleged, but I can see this being true. Remember, ESPN, as well as ABC, they are owned by Disney, which is an entertainment company. Wholesome, Disney, Walt Disney, blah, blah, blah. And so they don't play that, right? And so this is too much heat. And again, innocent to proven guilty. This is the only thing that I hate about these things is that the court of public opinion will find people guilty. They will also judge the woman as a gold digger and all of that until there is due process, until it plays out. And I believe in due process for both sides. Okay. I do know that reported incidents of these types of situations are usually true. However, there are some incidents that are indeed money grabs, but are indeed false or made up, or the truth is somewhere in between. So I just think that there should be due process in these incidents for both Shannon Sharpe and for the young lady. And I mean young lady, right? I think she's 20 years old right now. So Dominic Patton of Deadline.com reports that ESPN had decided to remove, so this is actually a Deadline thing that NBC is picking up on, decided to remove Sharpe from his Monday and Tuesday slot on First Take before Sharpe decided to walk away. After Sharpe announced his decision to exit ESPN for now, ESPN said this in a statement, this is a serious situation and we agree with Shannon's decision to step away. The other question for Sharpe is his podcast. Next is his next podcast deal. As of a week ago, he was looking at reportedly a 9-figure agreement. Wow. Now it's hard to see that happening. I think it was like $100 million. Damn. Wow. So that's the latest on Shannon Sharpe. We'll see where it plays out. His attorney we had on yesterday, remember, we had the exclusive with Lanny Davis, and he said they're not settling. He said this is going to court because they believe, I guess it's, I'm not attorney, extortion, or that it is blackmail or something like that. Okay. There you go. Now on to the other accused, alleged predator. Actually, the one who has been found liable, which is guilty in a civil court. Liable means guilty in a civil court, but anyway, technically he has been found liable of sexual abuse in a civil court, and that is the president of the United States himself. And apparently his downfall, so to speak, is coming as well. Is happening as we speak, because this new Reuters poll is showing that his approval rating is tanking. His job performance is tanking. In the tank. Kyle Griffin's Twitter from Reuters, 37% approval, 57% disapproval. That's among U.S. adults. Now, what is it? I think it is, Peter and Nikki, jump in here. Is it when it becomes 32 or 33% that it's the party's over?
Yeah. So Sarah Longwell over at the Bulwark.
The Bulwark, yeah.
She's a longtime political pollster and focus group organizer, and she has been talking about something called, Project 32. And the thrust of it is, in effect, that in all of her work in polling and all of her focus grouping, she's never, in all of the hypotheticals that she poses to American voters, she's never gotten a number below 32% for Trump. That is his absolute floor. And so if we're already at 37, that's showing you this is pretty bad. This is nearly as low as he can possibly go.
How low can you go? How low can you go? Can you go down low? Anyways. Isn't that? Oh, yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sarah Longwell, her polling and focus group is spot on. Her polling and focus groups are spot on. Yes, I agree with the Sarah Longwell, and perhaps that will be the difference. Here's what I think. Okay, as we're talking about these people. Self-awareness, right? Donald Trump has been allowed to defy gravity for so long, but eventually it catches up with you. But here's what I think, okay, with all of these men. I don't think that they are self-aware at all. There's no self-awareness because or reading the room or just knowing public sentiment. Look at what happened with Elon Musk. He had no idea. I think it was they were in a bubble, just not aware of the public sentiment, how much people really just disliked what he was doing. And thus it carried over into his business. And then he's like, wow, this is really affecting my business. Look, this is the worst quarter that Elon Musk or that Tesla has had in, I think it's 4 years, below the first time below $1 billion. I think it's like their profits were like $400 million or something. But he was stunned. He said on an interview on Fox News, I can't believe that people are doing this or whatever. He was so unaware of the public sentiment. I think that Shannon is probably unaware when he says things like, I want to date my wage, that like he's so kind of unaware, like just not self-aware. And I also think Donald Trump is not, he is just oblivious about how people feel, especially when you're messing with people's money, when you have made promises. There's this Time magazine article that is out as it relates to Donald Trump. Look, this is a Time magazine covers, right? So this is a new one. The new one is a new one dealing with it. Is that the new one? Which one is a new one?
Dealing with it is the new one.
Okay, dealing with it. Okay, so there's a new Time magazine article that is out about the first 100 days and how Donald Trump just seems to be oblivious about the public sentiment of him out there. And then when asked the question about the wars, we're going to have the war, it's going to be over within hours, and this is going to be down. You know what he said? I was just kind of joking. I'm paraphrasing, but apparently in the Time magazine, I was joking. I was saying that in jest. And these fools believed him. And they voted on it because they said, yeah, he's going to do that. And he is not. Now he said he was going to have the economy intact. The economy is in shambles. The economy is way worse than it was with Joe Biden, like way worse. Prices, grocery prices up. I read you the fact check yesterday. Egg prices are still high. There has been the bird flu has eased up, which has helped him. Nothing to do with him, but he's trying to claim it. Gas prices are not down. None of it. None of it. And so he's just completely unaware of the firing people from institutions and federal agencies and just ruining people's careers and lives and putting people into positions that they are not qualified for. People, they hate it. The 30-some% of the people who support him, the MAGA people who are ride or die, that's who's been boosting him and getting him elected, because those people are ride or die. They're hardcore. They don't split their votes. They're not voting for third-party candidates. They're believing 100% the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. And then now in an interview, he'll say, well, I was joking, I was kidding. And then the folks who support him will go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, he's got something up his sleeve. No, he does. The rabbit is dead. The rabbit up his sleeve is non-existent or it's dead. And can we talk about these pictures? Someone just said that too. I just want to talk about it. By the way, Time Magazine's got you obsessed with. Come on, Time. Come on now. It's time you get over your obsession with Donald Trump. Yeah, he looks so much older. So this one was, you said these are 4 years apart, right? The 4 years apart or 8 years apart?
I think 8, because the one on the right.
When he was office.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is now you guys know. As people start to age, the makeup gets heavier, the bronzer or whatever. And look at the bronzer is heavier. Woof, ooh, woof, woof, ooh. Where are the Biden is old people, right? It's Z. Come on now. And hair. Wow. Look just above the necktie. I'm just, Lord have mercy. Okay. Just saying. My mom used to say, "How'd you like to run into that in a dark alley?" Woo! Okay, so here we go. Speaking of magazine covers, this is the Economist cover 6 months ago. Okay, can we look at the Economist cover 6 months ago? Here's the Economist. Wow, look at that. Look at the US dollar skyrocketing. I mean, on a rocket, it's like I don't know if it's a Bezos rocket going to almost space, because you know it's not real space. We can talk about that later. Almost space, or if it's a Musk rocket going into almost whatever. I'm not sure what his rockets, how far they go. Is it NASA? Like, look, I mean, America's economy, a special report, the economy, according to The Economist, was on a rocket ship. The dollar was up. We were getting, I mean, Joe Biden was getting and was pulling us out of the bullshit and the muck and the mire of what Trump had done during his 4 years. But y'all didn't like the old man. You wanted another old man. You wanted your old man in there. Look at that, The Economist. Now, The Economist is not like that, the envy of the world. We were the envy of the world. We had the best economy in the world. Had MAGA. Yeah, let's go, Brandon, right? Brandon was working it for us. Was working it for us. And now, here's the Economist cover this week. Only 1,361 days to go. And our eagle, bald eagle, American eagle. I'm surprised it's got any feathers left. Look at that. We're being held together by duct tape and glue. May money. Andy, do we have a womp womp? Womp womp womp.
Not yet.
Womp womp womp. Wow. Let's see 6 months ago. 6 months ago, who was the president? Who was the president 6 months ago? Can anybody answer? Who was the president? Is this the right mic? Seriously, though, am I on the right mic? I might not be.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right, Mike.
Who was president 6 months ago? Nobody? Andy? No, can't even answer? Nobody? Nikki? Peter? Nobody wants to tell me who the president was 6 months ago?
I think plenty of people in the chat are telling you.
Who is it? I can't see the chat. I need to go to the YouTube. Oh, that old man, Brandon, Biden, Joe, Sleepy Joe. Now, here's the thing. Let me just tell you, because some old guy named Joe, Uncle Joe, y'all talk about the old man, right? But the old man wasn't holding press briefings and photo ops in the office every day, coming up with some bullshit to keep the news cycle on him and change the bad, try to put a lipstick on a turd. He was actually doing some work. And the people around him were doing some work. Whether you say he was sleepy or whatever he was, I don't care. We were the envy of the world. America's economy, a special report. Look at the dollar is a rocket. Give me the dollar. The dollar is down now, right? This is the dollar down. Find something for me. Now look at The Economist. This is just 6 months later, and look who the president is. 6 months later. Here's The Economist cover. Where is it? Where's The Economist cover from now? Andy? There we go. So there we go. Okay. So that's down. He is tanking. And now here we go with Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth, there's a report on Pete Hegseth in the Wall Street Journal. It is scathing. It is very similar to the reports I think that Axios did and that others did. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that there is chaos at the Pentagon, that he is ordering people to take polygraphs, that there's infighting, all kinds of stuff, polygraph threats, leaks, and infighting, the chaos inside Hegseth's Pentagon. Defense Secretary has chastised top military officers and staffers as he seeks to quiet a storm he helped to create. I told you this for later. Get the Substack up because I'm going to tell you, I did not know this Wall Street Journal article was coming out, and here it is, basically saying what I said. Okay, let's read through it. Here are the key points. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is under investigation for mishandling classified information. Hegseth accused multiple people of leaking classified briefing to Elon Musk, including threatening them with polygraphs. Trump is standing by Hegseth, but has begun to ask others about his performance as defense chief. Okay. Here we go. So, word leaked that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was rattled. Word leaked that he was planning a classified briefing for Elon Musk on China, a revelation that infuriated President Trump and raised alarms inside the Pentagon given Musk's business ties to Beijing. I'll hook you up to a effing polygraph, Hegseth shouted at Admiral Christopher Grady, the then acting chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, according to two people familiar with the exchange. Hegseth demanded proof that Grady hadn't leaked news of the March 21st briefing. Wow, man. This sounds like a place that I used to work. Grady was never subjected to a polygraph, and Hegseth would go on to accuse a number of other people for the leak, including Lieutenant General Doug Sims, a Joint Staff Director, whom Hegseth also threatened with a polygraph test. But for Hegseth, the episode marked a turning point in an already rocky tenure, coming just days after revelations that the former Fox News host had shared sensitive military information in unsecured group chats on Signal. The leaks deepened his frustration and eroded his trust in his close circle of advisors, the official said, and then and that's where it all started. That's where the paranoia comes from. He is paranoid. The problems only snowball from there. At least 5 political appointees have been fired or resigned. And Hegseth has said he is referring some of the aides for criminal investigation. Dude, stop it. You're the problem. You want to know who the problem is? Look in the mirror. You're the problem. Meanwhile, he is under investigation by the Pentagon's Inspector General for the alleged mishandling of classified information. The Joint Chiefs, the Joint Staff, declined to comment about the exchange, and the Pentagon didn't respond to a request for comment. And then the story goes on from there. Downfall. Downfall, downfall, downfall. And then this one is not mentioned in our thumbnail, but this is an Axios article. Let's put this up. Elon Musk is in shambles, this Axios. So I think this would fall under the category of everything Trump touches dies. Remember that? Remember they wrote about that? Elon Musk leaves legacy of self-destruction at Doge. Again, this is from Axios. Elon Musk arrived in Washington as the most powerful political outsider ever, brimming with Silicon Valley swagger and bipartisan buy-in for his goal of streamlining the federal government. He is leaving with his reputation wounded, relationships severed, companies in crisis, fortune diminished, and little to show for Doge but chaos and contested savings. Folks are saying there's no receipts. Where's the proof? There's really no savings. They could have saved that with just routine audits and not disrupting the lives of thousands and thousands and thousands of employees. And neutering, if not getting rid of altogether, essential agencies and institutions in our government. Why it matters: Musk may not have achieved his audacious goal of cutting $2 trillion from America's debt, but the disruption he unleashed inside the federal government, for better or for worse, will reverberate for decades. And then here's the zoom in. They say Musk has publicly acknowledged the enormous toll that Doge, which he characterized as a patriotic existential project, has taken on his private life. He's still beloved by President Trump, but his favorability ratings have plummeted amid scrutiny, Doge's mass layoffs, sweeping program cuts, and unprecedented access to America's personal data. Kind of just summed up what I said. Remember, he spent $25 million on that Wisconsin race? Lost. That message, they say, stuck with Musk's GOP-backed candidate, and it lost, right? So let me just read it to make sure that I want to get it right. For Wisconsin Supreme Court election this month, Democrats painted Musk, who poured $25 million into the race, as a corrupt, unelected oligarch with his eyes set on dismantling Social Security. The message stuck, and Musk's GOP-backed candidate lost. Here are the numbers. Remember, I told you it's arithmetic. The numbers don't lie. By the numbers, Tesla, battered by boycotts, protests, and even firebombings, saw its net income plunge 71% in the first quarter, triggering Musk's decision this week to scale back his involvement in Doge. The next one says, this talks about Dan Ives or whatever, but the next one is very important. Musk's net worth has declined by a staggering $122 billion this year, nearly matching the $160 billion in government savings claimed by Doge, which budget experts believe is wildly inflated. And don't forget, Musk bankrolled Trump's campaign to the tune of $288 million. He is still the world's richest man, even after losing a staggering $122 billion. Can you imagine? You can lose that and still be the world's richest man. That's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. As they say, you guys know what I'm going to say, right? Oh, how the what? Let's see if we can finish that for me. Oh, how the... Anybody can finish that for me? Someone said tables turned. Nope. Thank you very much. Someone has it in the TikTok. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Thank you. There you go. You guys have got it. It's kind of crazy. I mean, just within remember the election was not that long ago. And remember, like, they came up with this dosing. This has just been since November, December, January, February, March, April. 6 months. And Donald Trump has only been president for just under about 3 months? Not even January 20th. When was the inauguration? February, March, April. 3 months or so. What's today? The 25th? Yeah, 3 months. It would be 20th to the 20th to the 20th. January 20th, February 20th, March 20th, April. Yeah. Wow. And look at that. Look at how his numbers have gone down. Look at what has happened to Elon Musk's companies. Look at what's happened to Pete Hegseth. Crazy. It is. Politics is a crazy thing, man. It is polarizing and people don't like it. If you don't agree with them, if you're not on their side politically, they will back away from you. And I don't understand, because I think everything now is politics. Donald Trump has made everything about politics. So advertisers want to, brand safety and all that. I don't believe that is even achievable or possible in this environment. I think everything is about politics and you have to take a stand. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. And I'm not taking glee in anyone's demise. I'm just saying it's very interesting to watch, to witness. And even America, if you want to say, oh, how the mighty have fallen, look at our stature in the world. Who was it that brought up? Oh, it was Jennifer Welch. Jen yesterday said that look at our stature in the world, how we were embarrassed around the world, that we have lost, America has lost its credibility around the world. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Okay, well, let me just say, before we get out here, let me ask you, I just want you to agree with this. One more thing, just before, I want to ask if you agree with this. Because you guys remember, let's put up the Larry David essay. So Larry David wrote, this is something that's a little bit of a palate cleanser, kind of. So Larry David wrote an op-ed in the New York Times, an essay for the New York Times, where he was sort of riffing on Bill Maher's dinner with Donald Trump, and then Larry David just thought it was absolutely ridiculous because he has the crow eating out of sipping out of the champagne glass or whatever, or maybe it's just next to the champagne glass. Says Larry David, my dinner with Adolf, and then Bill Maher had talked about his dinner with Donald, right? And then just went on and sort of gushed about it and just said he's not. I just love the, he's the man, he's great, or he's saying we disagree, but you should get to know this person. He's not the person that everybody thinks of. He's very affable and all of that. So just scroll a little bit so I can read through it a little bit so that people can understand what's happening here. Okay. So he said, imagine my surprise when he talks about in the spring of 1939, a letter arrived at my house inviting me to dinner with the old chancellery, with the world's most reviled man. And so he's sort of ripping off, I think it was Kid Rock who set up this meeting, this, if you want to call it an imbroglio, I don't know. What do you call it when what do you call it? Rapprochement. Like, so they were, let's sort of bury the hatchet and see what happens. Okay. I had been a vocal critic of his on the radio from the beginning. So saying he'd been a vocal critic on the radio. Now Bill Maher's a vocal critic on the TV. You get it, on his TV show. A vocal critic of his on the radio from the beginning, pretty much predicting everything that he was going to do on the road to dictatorship. No one I knew encouraged me to go. He's Hitler. He's a monster. But eventually I concluded that hate gets us nowhere. Bill Maher said that hate gets us nowhere. I knew I couldn't change his views, but we need to talk to the other side, even if it has invaded and annexed other countries and committed unspeakable crimes against humanity. And so basically the sentiment from Bill was like, hate gets us nowhere. You got to talk. The guy's in office, blah, 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 blah. So Larry David is channeling Bill Maher, but using the Fuhrer as the example. And this touched a nerve. This went viral. People were like, this is brilliant. Larry David, by the way, according to Bill Maher, they are friends. Bill Maher was on the Piers Morgan show. Piers went to Bill Maher to his Club Random. And so this is a Piers Morgan show, not a Bill Maher show, but Piers interviewed him on the Club Random set. Now, someone said Larry David has keen insight. I think he does. I thought it was great and brilliantly done, but then not so brilliant. It's not like an idea that many people can come up with this idea and had said it, but they just hadn't put it into writing. So I don't want to take anything away from Larry David, but I think this is an idea that has been talked about much and people have made this comparison, but Larry David has the access and quite frankly, the privilege to be able to get something like this in the New York Times, because the average person can write this and the New York Times would not take it and they would not write it. They would just say it is someone with Trump derangement syndrome, or they would say, oh my God, we can't do this because you're comparing this person to, Hitler and we can't have that. But because it's Larry David, they did it. And now everyone's like, it's brilliant, but I don't think it's a unique idea. I'm just saying. So anyway, Bill Maher on the set of Club Random, but being interviewed by Piers Morgan for the Piers Morgan show, had some words for Larry David. Here it is.
Yes, of course. I mean, this wasn't, my favorite.
Back up. I want to see the beginning.
I want to see the beginning. Yes, of course. I mean, this wasn't, my favorite moment of our friendship, but, look, I don't want to get in too much into that, but I think the minute you play the Hitler card,
That's what I think.
you've lost the argument.
Yes.
And also, I must say, you know, come on, man. Hitler, Nazis, nobody has been harder about and more prescient, I must say, about Donald Trump than me. I don't need to be lectured on who Donald Trump is. Just the fact that I met him in person didn't change that. And the fact that I reported honestly is not a sin either. But, you know, to use the Hitler thing, first of all, I just think it's kind of insulting to 6 million
Yes.
dead Jews, you know, like that should kind of be in its own place in history. And, you know, I know people can say, well, we're just comparing it in this way. Well, it's an argument you kind of lost just to start it. It's just, look, maybe it's not completely logically fair, but Hitler has really kind of got to stay in his own place. He is the goat of evil, and we're just going to have to, I think, leave it like that. So, you know, did I think that was appropriate? No, but people have the right to.
Did you know he was going to do it?
Of course not. And people.
So how did you find out?
You know, my publicist said, this is going on today, and you should know it. And I was like, oh.
Now, what do you guys think of that? He's like, apparently, you know, this is it's unfair to do whatever. You can do it, but I don't know. Just do you agree with it? Man, I wish I was sitting there with him, because I have very strong opinion about this. Do you guys agree with Bill Maher? Or do you agree with Larry David? Now, I just want to say, on the heels, remember what happened, what the person that Larry David compared Trump to. Remember what he did to his political enemies. Remember what he did with the press. Remember how he tried to, all the things that he did. So on the heels of that, of Bill Maher saying that, this is what has happened in Wisconsin. Remember trying to control folks, right? Let's put it up. FBI arrests Wisconsin judge for obstruction of ICE agents. Kash Patel. Now, if you click on the article, do we have the article? FBI Director Kash Patel said Friday in a since deleted post that his agency had arrested a Milwaukee judge who allegedly tried to help an undocumented defendant avoid arrest. Why it matters? Hannah Dugan, a Milwaukee Circuit Court judge, was arrested on charges of obstruction of an immigration arrest operation, Patel's post said. Axios is reaching out to the FBI for clarity on the situation. We believe Judge Duncan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. Patel added that Flores Ruiz is also in the FBI's custody. Bill Maher says it's not fair. That comparison is not fair to what's happening now. In some ways, I understand that. In others, I don't. Comparisons don't have to be 100% accurate. Yes, is he the GOAT? And I don't mean the greatest of all time in a good way. Or is he the WOT, the worst of all times, I will say. I'll retract the greatest of all. The WOT, the worst of all times. Schittler, yes. But are there comparisons to be made? Some folks of the times, of things that were happening, of situations that happen, of the controlling of people and whatever, not necessarily the offing of people, but the controlling of the narrative and arresting people for things. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reported this week that the FBI was looking into whether Duncan tried to help an undocumented immigrant avoid arrest after the person was scheduled to appear in her courtroom last week. In an email to judges, Chief Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Carl Ashley said Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrived at the Milwaukee County Courthouse on April 18th with an arrest warrant, according to the Journal Sentinel. Ashley's note didn't mention Dugan or an FBI investigation into her conduct. With that said, everyone, I'm going to see you back here at 5 o'clock Eastern time. We'll drop some content at 2 o'clock, but this is America. Don't catch me slipping up. I'm just saying, this is America. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Please, it does affect the algorithm, especially the subscribe button and the like button, all of it, and our membership links at the top of the chat. Chloe Albert's Revenge says, but even Schindler started somewhere, and I'm sure it looked very much like this. Okay, that's what Chloe says. Lena the Fab says, Bill Maher is so full of crap, he has lost all credibility. Larry David was correct in his assessment. And there are others that we can shout out. So welcome to M.A. Hudson, who's a new member. Appreciate you. Welcome to all of our new members. Listen, y'all, this is so frustrating. I'm at a loss for words at just like how low as a country can we go. See me, thank you for your generosity. 20 people get to become members because of your generosity. Jennifer Carpenter, welcome to the Elimination. Maureen, thank you. Because of your generosity, 10 people get to become members of the Elimination. M.A. Hudson, welcome. Franny Fruit says, the Holocaust was a terrible time and is also part of history. We have to refer to it so it doesn't happen again. Yeah. So again, thank you all for your support. Please make sure you have hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, also get the notifications for things. And all new members, welcome to all of our new members. We're so happy that you're here. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you becoming a member. I'm just telling you, I don't want to start my Friday with this kind of mood. So happy Friday, everyone. I'm going to see you at 5 o'clock. Maybe let's have a cocktail at 5 o'clock, shall we? I don't know. What is it? Friday? We want to do margaritas. What should we have on a Friday? What should we do tonight? Should we do margaritas? Martinis. I cannot do martinis because I will be smashed. Maybe we'll have a glass of wine. What do you guys think? Cocktails. Cocktails at 5. All right. Remember, it's our sour lemon of the week. And then, yeah. Okay. So thank you guys. I'll see you back here at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Until then, turn the TV off.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you.